Welcome everyone. Welcome. This is the Wellness Plug. My name is Dee, and I am going to help you elevate your wellness routines and just give you a little insight, wellness tips, and education weekly. Um, let's dive in. This is massage therapy part 2. In this video, the previous video, we covered why massage therapy needs to be in your routine, why it's not currently in your routine, and then like different types of massage therapy that there are so that you don't, think that there's limitations to this. Massage therapy definitely can benefit everyone. I feel very passionately about this topic because I have been in the wellness industry for about 8 years now, and most of my experience has been in the massage industry. What I have been able to do in that time is assist hundreds of people in adding massage therapy into their wellness routine specifically. And it required having very honest conversations with strangers on a regular basis about what went on in their lives and why they don't take care of themselves and how we can help them. And it was honestly a very fulfilling job. I want to continue to help people do that. And so specifically with massage therapy today, part 2, video 2 is going to help you actually book your first session, help you set expectations, what to expect from your therapist, and what you're expected to do, and then do's and don'ts, kind of as a newbie. I want you guys to feel prepared and relaxed when you go into your first sessions. Honestly, the purpose of this video is to take away the anxiety and again, set the expectations, but also to remind you that, to basically give you a safe headspace before you go in. And that will essentially set you up for success. And because honestly, guys, it's about the first appointment. The first appointment matters so much. If the better the first appointment goes, the more likely you will see the value in massage therapy. That is a fact. Like I said, let's talk about booking your appointments, right? Obviously, we talked about knowing what to ask for, knowing what your needs are. And if you have not tuned into the first video, please feel free to review that video first and then head back over here. But in that video, we talk about like what you need to ask for so that you can find the right person for you. You'll be more likely to book appropriately. Booking appropriately is like a huge step of that, so that's cool. Once you figure out who you're going to, you need to figure out if they book online or if you need to call and make an appointment. There's like pros and cons to that too, right? I like places that offer both because sometimes you don't have the options that are available online, and then it kind of helps to call and get that more personal touch. Honestly, like first time appointments anywhere, or just like first time services at somewhere that I'm used to going to, but I haven't tried the service yet, I do like a more personable experience. I like to call the front desk and I like to ask questions. I like to ask like, who's a good deep tissue therapist, or who's the person that like is your like relaxation specialist, because like I need to really calm my nervous system. I've been stressed out, I'm grieving or whatever it may be, but maybe I'm looking for something extra specific and they are able to offer me insight on their staff. Again, online booking is really cool too because it's so convenient. When there's an app that I can just like, sometimes this thought comes to you at like 3 a.m., right? And, booking at 3 a.m., if I know what I want and I know how to get there, if there's a specific person I like to see and they're available and I see it on that day and it's like a pretty simple system, like that's another thing, like to all the wellness providers out there, the system also matters. The simpler the system operates for the client, the easier it is to book, the more likely I will continue to book so. And that goes for the in-person, like on the call experience too. Like you have to answer the phone, you have to be easy to talk to, and you have to be helpful. So those were like the main points of being a helpful front desk assistant. And so that's my tidbit for you, as the neutral party in that for 2 seconds. Back to being a client though, we already talked about what to ask for. So assess your needs that day or what you're booking for. And if it's like a full body situation experience, like people are more than capable of offering just a simple head to toe, we call that like maintenance work massage. But if you need to, again, review your specific needs, check out video 1, Massage Therapy Part 1, which was the video right before this from last week. When you are booking your appointments, please do not forget to mention anything specific regarding your medical history. That stuff matters, guys. And sometimes, yes, it does keep you from being able to book immediately, but that is for your well-being and safety and to protect the service provider's license, because some people be tripping out here, okay? And no, you walk in there not right, and then the service provider works on you, and then what? What happens if something gets out of place? No. Please go see a professional. Go see a doctor if you feel like something is wrong, if you've been in a car accident, or even just taking a couple of days to make sure that you feel back to normal, whatever normal is for you. Now, if you have medications that you take regularly, conditions, especially concerning cardiovascular, nervous system, skin conditions, people are touching you, consider any medical condition that might be affected by someone's touch or pressure repeatedly on your body. That means like if you're pregnant, that also matters, and that does matter. It doesn't matter how far along you are. You should still let the service provider know, especially wait until after your first appointment with your doctor to get approved for prenatal massages, which is offered at plenty of places. The only difference with prenatal massage is that you're side lying for a lot of it. It's usually they provide extra comfort. So the only thing that really annoyed me about prenatal massage was that I always had to pee like really close to the end. And so I'd be like really tempted to just cut it short. And that used to really grind my gears because I love all my time. Okay. And then, be aware of their cancellation policy when you book. If there's a deposit, putting a card on file, when you need to cancel, if it's 24 hours in advance, if it's as long as the day before, look out for confirmation emails or texts, give them something to work with, guys. But put it on your calendar, because honestly, confirmations are a courtesy, and that's just coming from both sides. Like, yes, life gets busy, but it does help to get a confirmation text. So just look out for those things and then be aware of their policies. And then, show up. Now, as you prepare for your first massage, there's a couple of like doozies and don'tsies that I got for you, and we're going to list them out right here. Are you ready? I got them in a little chunky, right here. Do hydrate. You want to make sure that you don't show up to a massage dehydrated, but like overly hydrated would be great, like a little extra hydrated. Just because what happens is like a lot of toxins are released, and you want to start flushing out those toxins as they're released. You don't want them to find new homes, as I used to say. You want to just like flush those out. And you can also sometimes feel a little like, I don't know, like out of it. Not like dizzy. If you feel dizzy afterwards, please let somebody know. But like there are times that I have felt like a little like, oh, afterwards, and honestly, like drinking water is what helps. So yeah, that's a do. Also, another do is clean up a little bit. You know, coming right after the gym, depending on how funky you get, I don't think it's like a super sin, but you know, at least keep some water wipes in the car. Maybe like some neutralizing fragrance or deodorant, maybe some dry shampoo, just to just kind of neutralize what you've done. And then even to maybe avoid like a scalp massage, like I said, if you got extra sweaty, or consider if you know, if you just mowed the lawn, you know, you're probably going to want to take a shower before you come for your appointment. And I only say that because sometimes we need to be considerate of the wellness provider, number one, but also just because other things like scents and sounds can distract us, and we want to be as relaxed as possible. So we want good smells, we want to feel good, we want to feel refreshed. And so like, especially for your first appointment, just like pick a good time that's not after your workout or after you decide to mow the lawn. Another do, ask questions. Definitely ask questions when you book the appointment, but also ask questions when you show up for the appointment. If you need directions, if you have a question about your wellness provider, if something comes to you on the car ride there, you know, ask the questions when you show up, and you know, don't be afraid. Getting as much information as possible is a great way to kind of calm your nerves by the time you get in the room, because you're like kind of mentally prepared. And like some people are super okay with new experiences, and like this video is more so for the people that are kind of like hesitant, like that's something that they know that they need in their routine. It's been suggested to them before, but I don't know, something makes me kind of nervous to try that. I don't have enough information from someone I trust. You know, some stuff you just need a little extra info. That's what I'm here for. Okay, now we're on to the don'ts. Okay, so do not eat a super heavy meal, super rich, like steak and potatoes. Don't eat one of those good old meals before your massage. Number one, you're going to be completely out of it by the time you walk out. But two, it just doesn't feel great afterwards. You just feel super sleepy, and like you have to get off the table so they can move on with their day. Also, some people have had like digestion kind of interruptions, I've heard, or like gas. So just consider these options too. And then, you know, do not drink or smoke. I mean, I hope you're not doing any ridiculous drugs at all. But like, don't drink or smoke before you come. Like I said, odors can affect things, but also like your ability to, the ability to like effectively communicate your pain level can be a little warped when you're under the influence. So, you know, just don't partake in any of your recreational activities before you show up for your appointment, especially your first appointment, because hello, you want to enjoy the massage, okay? And then lastly, please don't arrive like I said, super funky or filthy. It's just not considerate. And also, because some people endure things throughout their day and they're just unaware of what they come in, right? For instance, like we've had clients that chose not to take a shower between an activity like mowing the lawn or moving, helping someone move. And we've had clients show with like broken glass in their leg and didn't know it. Yes, real story. And or like maybe like an open cut they didn't know about, and like people cannot touch that stuff, right? You need to get that stuff treated first. So those are a couple of reasons to just kind of clean up before your first service. Okay, so now, you get in the lobby, you arrive for your appointment. I do recommend arriving to anything 15 minutes early, especially your first time somewhere. You should include time for parking, you should include time for paperwork, check in, long line, boo on the traffic. Like, I always include time for things, especially things that are important to us, right? Like, you need to take it seriously. And how seriously you take your first experience is going to be reflected in how you book your first appointment. So, anywho, you'll usually check in the lobby, do some paperwork. I recommend going to the restroom. Maybe they usually have like water to offer, which is great. But then like there's usually a consultation like session like first, like a little section of time, kind of like any other appointment. You go in and you kind of talk to your service provider and you say like, hey, this is why I'm here. This is my first massage. I do this on a regular basis. I'm here because I need to relax or XYZ, whatever. And then whatever questions you have, like, ask them. Typically, they'll leave the room afterwards. Once everyone's got clarity on where they're at, they will leave the room, let you get undressed. You can undress to your comfort level. So this is always a professional and safe environment if you're booking in the right place. So you get undressed under your comfort level, meaning you can leave. A lot of people leave their undergarments on, which is totally fine. Ladies, no one else is going to tell you what you can and can't do. I'm your friend, so I can tell you. But like anything like a bra strap that may, anything like a bra strap like this that you leave on may interfere with how you receive that massage. If you are still uncomfortable, wear like a strapless bra or pull the strap down and tuck it, and then that way you can still receive a good shoulder and neck, because you need it, a good shoulder and neck massage, and then also feeling comfortable. Typically, a lot of professional environments will have you covered up with a sheet, like literally, like very modest draping is what they usually call it. And what that does is that allows like a barrier for you, and that allows extra like security. It makes you feel a little safer. So these are things to look for and pay attention to let you know if you're in the right environment or not. It doesn't mean anything if they don't necessarily tell you all this information, but that is also why I recommend telling them it's your first session, just so that they can maybe offer that clarity if it's in their mindset to do so. So usually when you're on the table, so you'll get on the table under the sheet, blanket, whatever they have to cover you up with. And like in the wintertime, some people get extra cold. I know there were clients that had health conditions that made their joints really cold and really sensitive to like the air conditioning. So we would like double up the blankets. If you need accommodations, you should definitely ask for them when you're booking, if you can think of them. Big breasted people, they were like these like pillows for the big booby people, because laying like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. But like accommodations should be made when booking if you can, but definitely during check-in, and if not, anytime before that when you are having your consultation with your therapist. Okay, so anywho, by the time they come back into the room, they usually start with like compressions, just kind of like warming your body up. Deep tissue therapists will usually start with more flowy, like getting in there, just a little rhythm before they start finding those specific spots. And then I know a lot of therapists that do like a balancing kind of thing, like left side, right side, head to toe. Here's another pro tip and a don't. on my don't list. Do not talk during your session. And if you are really cool with your therapist, that's fine to catch up on life maybe during the first parts of the service. If you're getting deep tissue, I love saving conversations for when you're in the sweet spots, the ones that really hurt. Because honestly, talking during those moments kind of distract you. But when I say don't talk, I mean like light conversation. Communicate, if the pressure is too deep or too light, communicate your comfort level. Like if the temperature in the room is, too cold or too hot, do you need the fan on? Do you need, some people have table warmers or like aromatherapy. Like, oh my gosh, like you can literally set up your room with so many like add-ons, and some of that stuff is just like included in the service. So make sure you ask all the questions. Um, but yeah, like we're not talking about politics. We're not talking about religion. We're not talking about, any social media, social viral events. We're not doing that. It should be like, oh, I walk daily. Oh, I have a dog. Oh, I hold my grandkids. How many grandkids do you have? Oh, I have 4. Like that should be the extent of your conversation if we even get a little personal. But honestly, it shouldn't even be that deep. It should be more about focusing on you specifically, your body, your daily activities, and allowing the therapist to get to know you as a human so they can understand what they're feeling and finding in your body. Your body definitely tells on you in these sessions. So the therapist can feel the knots and tightness and tension in your body and pretty much figure out what you're doing or how you're using your body on a daily basis. It's actually really creepy, but also really kind of cool. But you should be honestly like working with them on this. You should be breathing deeply and focusing on your breath and relaxing your mind, like calming it, being still, and listening to your body, like finding those knots that they're finding and saying, why does that not feel that way? And some therapists are really cool and will explain to you what they find in their bodies too. So if you have a therapist that is a little bit more educational, or if you just are bold enough to ask the question, ask, hey, why does that feel that way? Or what, sometimes the therapist may ask, what do you do with this arm on a regular basis? And those are really cool conversations to have because they will kind of call attention to some work you need to be doing. So after the session, depending on what you got done, they'll leave the room. You have time to get dressed, but there were a lot of times where like if I laid face down for a longer period of time, because like my back and my shoulders would be like the bigger issue, that my nose would get a little stuffy. So like sometimes they have Kleenex provided, or sometimes they have tissues provided, but I always had like a little congestion that I would like have to like blow my nose after session. Fun fact. Make sure you gather all your belongings, because if you take off like your jewelry and stuff, make sure if you have a little spot in your purse, or I like to have like a trinket bag that I just put my stuff in. That way if there's nowhere to lay it out in the specific place that I'm at, I at least know like where to find it in my bag. Make sure that you know where to leave gratuity. Always tip your wellness providers, guys. Service providers, literally, we getting it how we live, and tips matter. Tips are appreciated. And if we lived in a different society, that might be a different story, but we don't. So please tip your service providers. Make sure you continue to hydrate. I personally just bring a water bottle with me to any massage therapy session, but like I said, typically a lobby will have a water fountain or some sort of water provided. And then you could also stretch like in the doorway before your service provider comes to grab you, or in the doorway to the lobby, even if it's not super obnoxious. But you could even give yourself a little stretch in the room before you leave. And you might even crack and pop a little bit. Snap, crackle, pop. walk slowly. My other pro tip is to take your time if you can. And I don't mean like diddle dally and be obnoxious and take forever to leave and be in the way. I mean like take your time, like don't rush out of your appointment. Like walk at a leisurely pace, get to the front desk, check out if you need to. If you already leave the gratuity and you just head out, like cool. But like if there's somewhere to sit in the lobby, sit down and just kind of take a second to breathe and take in the moment and say like wow, that was really great, and just kind of take some mental notes in your head. And also on the way home, like breathe deeply. I don't recommend calling your friend right after your appointment. I recommend like taking the drive home to just really address how you feel, and then once you get somewhere, then make your phone calls, right? But that's just a pro tip from your girl D. And then also, do not leave that place without booking your next appointment. And that is why I said the first appointment matters, because if you walk out of there feeling so great and your checkout and payment process is great, like the next thing to do at that point is to book your next appointment. People usually make it super easy. And honestly, if you could see yourself coming at that same time regularly, set up a standing appointment. You don't have to do it for the whole year and be like audacious like that. Some places don't even offer that. But you could definitely do like 2 to 3 months out. I recommend booking all of your wellness appointments in the quarter, like per quarter. So, like in December, maybe mid December, call your wax lady, your lash lady. I'm talking that stuff too, ladies. But, also call your hair care, your skin care, call your massage therapist, call your doctors, your wellness doctors. Call everyone and just book all the appointments for January, February, and March right then and there. If you know you're supposed to have a wellness checkup that comes once a year, like for instance, I see my OB in March every year, so that's something that I would book. I would book all of my massage appointments. I would book my pedicures if that's what part of my self-care plan is. We talked about the top 5, whatever. Make sure you schedule all of that stuff ahead of time, because then you're more likely to keep up with it. And then it also is easy to schedule reminders to make sure that you follow through with what you said. Do what you said you was gonna do, girl. Okay, and then what next? We leave the appointment, and that just, like I said, the first appointment is so important for this reason, because like it literally dictates how you move forward. And then honestly, like I said, you should try to book on a regimen, but if you don't, you will mark my words, you will regret it, because you will wait like 6 months to a year. And I totally get financial struggles, guys. Remember, we talked about obstacles. I totally get all of that, but we talked about ways to maneuver and to operate around obstacles. Pivot, because it's important to us, right? So instead of thinking about all the things that can go wrong, let's start thinking about how good can it get, right? That was something they said to us in church recently that I have just like taken with me, because like, why do we not think like that? How good can it get? How good can my self-care regimen actually get if I care enough about it? I can tell you, it'll be fabulous when you really start doing the work and taking it seriously. Your health and wellness will improve, and so will your mood, and so will your relationships. So will your projects and the work. It will reflect in your work, it will reflect in your aura, and it will reflect in your circle, your environment, honey. I mark my words. Okay, anywho, when we talk about where to book, I have 2 suggestions right now, today. 2 suggestions right now that I can offer you for booking appointments. Our first option is Corner Spa 7. It is located off of Del Mar by Jilly's Cupcakes. It is in a suite. So we'll do a little wellness tour there, show you guys how to get there, how to book, who to book with, and what all you can do there, and why we love it so much. And then, and also to meet the owner. So then our other option in this is Soul STL Wellness. That is located on the south side off of Chippewa. And we're going to sit down with the owner of that wellness spot. And we're going to talk about Ashiatsu massage specifically, and a couple of the services that they offer there as well. So hopefully you guys are still with me by then. And if you're not, shame on you. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss the wellness tour. I am going to introduce you to 2 spots to book massage at. Stay tuned. Once again, this is your girl D, the wellness plug, with your wellness educational tips and a couple of, moments of reflection. We live in our best lives. We live in well over here. Please like and subscribe. And tell your friends. All right. I will see you guys next time. Stay tuned.